Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Hello, hope your Wednesday is going well. We are broadcasting live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. My goodness. It is Wednesday already, halfway through the work week. State Fair is here tomorrow. Leadoff show with Mitch Thunder Nellis tomorrow from noon until 1 at the State Fair. Then from 1 until 2, he'll be out there doing the Mason Crosby show. That'll be a lot of fun, too. Then from 2 to 4, I'll be doing Wisconsin Sports Daily. Then 4 to 6, Tim Allen will be at the Wisconsin State Fair with me, and we'll be doing the Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show there, too. So lots and lots of stuff to get to tomorrow. And we're right outside the Expo Center at the Wisconsin State Fair. So you know where you get your milk at for your 50 cents or whatever it is nowadays, where the Bucks used to take care of that. Right there. That's right where we are, right across from there, right by the entrance. If you saw us last year at the Wisconsin State Fair, we're in the exact same spot. And our friends By the Yard are giving away a $2,000 in-store credit towards your purchase of 4 custom Adirondack chairs and 2 side tables. To register to win, simply stop by the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network booth right outside the Wisconsin State Fair Expo Center and scan the QR code. Plus, we'll have free fans while supplies last. If it gets a little warm outside, you want to fan yourself, that will be a fun time, too. Coming up on today's show, we are efforting one specific person that was at Packers camp today. I'm not going to tell you who it is because it's a rather sizable guest. So we'll see if we can track that person down or not. I'm not sure if that person will be on an airplane or not when we're trying to get him on. So we'll see. If not today, maybe we'll get him tomorrow. But before we get to the Packers, and there'll be plenty of Packers stuff today, plus Hard Knocks started last night. Watched that this morning at 2 o'clock when I got home and got that all done so we can talk about that today coming up to the Seattle Seahawks, the featured team. And you got former Packers executive John Schneider there and Sam Darnold and all kinds of fun with McDonald as the head coach. So we'll get into that too in the 3 o'clock hour. But first, I want to talk about this from last night with Pat Murphy. So last night on the Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show, we played Pat Murphy, but we were kind of up against it a little bit. So of like I don't know what it was, 7 or 8 minutes of it or whatever else, we played like the first 5 or 6 minutes of it, right? And it looked like there was one answer towards the end of it. And I don't have time and breaks to listen to everything as far as pressers go. We have somebody that gets us the audio, sends it to us. So never even went and listened to the tail end of it to see if we missed anything. No big deal. So we play it, we stop, we come back, we play some Logan Henderson. That was all good. Wrap up the show, see a piece, we're out. Go back, listen to it on your Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game page or your Best Brewers coverage page where you download your favorite podcast at, or simply by going to wisportsradio.com. So then later, after the show is done, I see this quote from Pat Murphy talking about Christian Yelich, and I was so mad at myself. Like, oh my God, how in the world? We were talking about Yelich for a majority of the postgame show yesterday. For a majority of the postgame show, that's what the conversation was, about Yelich potentially moving to 7 going forward, even though he got moved back up because of the scratch with Jake Bowers. But that whole conversation, people frustrated with Yelich and so forth. So wouldn't you know it, Murphy gets to talking about Yelich.
I heard a couple fans today, the kind of start getting down on Yelich, and I know some of you guys are talking about the last this many games or that many. Look, guys, this guy's meant unbelievable amount to our organization, and the way he leads in there, you guys don't get to see. He doesn't need my protection. He doesn't need me to speak up for him, but he needs encouragement. So I'm asking the fans to understand this guy. Remember who this guy was. You know what I mean? I don't know how many MVPs the Brewers have had in their past history. MVPs. I mean, I'm just saying, Yelich, God, he basically won 2-2. If 19 he doesn't go down at the end, he wins that. So let's not forget what he's done. And that doesn't give him the grace to not, if he's in the lineup, he's got to perform, and he will. We just can't start piling on when this guy's done a lot. He deserves the respect, and hopefully, our fans understand that. That's when, again, if we're going to thread the needle, we need Yelich.
Simple question. Do you agree with Pat Murphy? Should we be nicer, more cuddly with Christian Yelich and wrap our hands around him like he was our son that was struggling, and pat him on the back? It's okay, Yelly. You'll figure it out, buddy. We appreciate everything that you've done for us. We're here for you. Here, put your head on my shoulder. It's okay. We got you. From time to time, I will call Murphy Daddy Ball because I really feel like he definitely gets into his feelings and favorites and gives guys way more chances than he gives other guys. We've seen this time and time again over the last several years of how he works. Charlie has been all over picking up on how he goes about things. So Yelich is one of his guys, which is fine. And I'm fine with the idea of he was great. Give him some slack here. Give him some leeway. Fine. I'm also good with saying, hey, he's a leader in this clubhouse. He does a lot more off the field than you realize of what he does on the field. I'm fine with that too. I've also heard that. Here's another piece of audio that I had yesterday that we played on the postgame show last night. So yesterday, I'm doing the leadoff show, back at it again today, from 5 until 6:30. And then after the last pitch, you make the switch, Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show, Tim Allen and myself tonight. And while I'm on the air yesterday, I see that Tim Dillard is doing pregame on Brewers TV. So I go over to the other side to our producer booth where we can record off TV and all that stuff. And I just pot it up, and I just want to see what he said. And he was talking about Christian Yelich. Did you hear this, Charlie?
I did not hear this, no.
So this is Tim Dillard yesterday. We played this on the postgame show last night, and people lost their ever-loving mind. So this is Tim Dillard talking about Yelich.
Well, I mean, hitting a baseball is the quintessential hardest thing to do in sports ever. Never seemed like that when I was on the mound, but it is. And Christian Yelich, I don't think we should throw down the jump to conclusions mat just yet. If you dig into the numbers and really look at what's going on, his numbers since July 1st are almost identical to Luis Garcia Jr., who the Yankees just acquired, who's batting .290 in the same frame that Christian Yelich is batting .188. But yet, the hard hit percentage, the exact same. The hard hit balls, the exact same amount of games. So this guy is hitting the ball hard. It is not going down for a hit. A lot of those are on the ground and they're being gobbled up by first base and second base, but his hard hit percentage, again, is still elite during that stretch. So I think when you start slumping, I know a lot of players want to look in the stands. They're waiting for Glenn Close to stand up to kind of inspire them. But the way it goes is you get inspired and excited by your teammates and your manager. Your manager is putting things in place to go, you know what? It's not about you. It's about the team right now. And for him to have the right approach, it's going to work out. It's going to pay dividends. He knows how to hit. He is going to hit.
So there you go. So that's what Tim Dillard had to say. So he said that. And I was like, okay, well, you can't argue with numbers, right? He's talking about hard hit rate and everything else. So then people are messaging on the Nikolai Law Talking text like, that's crap. He ain't hitting the ball that hard. I watch every game, blah, blah, blah. So then we had a guy in the Dugout YouTube chat that was blowing up about this. He's like, he's right on the money with a hard hit rate as far as what his number is. However, it's the lowest number he's had since like 2023 or 2020, something like that, dating back a ways back for Yelich. So even though that number is what Dillard's been talking about, which is great, it's apparently one of the lowest numbers he's had in that category in the last several years. This is the thing, folks. The one thing Murphy was 100% right about was at the very end of that clip when he said, look, man, if we're going to thread the needle, meaning if, we're going to go win a World Series here, we got to have them. 1,000% correct. Yes. This lineup is okay. without Yelich doing anything. With Yelich being Yelich of last year, now again, I know postseason hasn't been that good for most of his career, but Yelich last year, 29 home runs, doing all that. Yelich then in the middle of this lineup with that version of Yelich makes this lineup a million times better. That's part of the reason why people are frustrated and angry. The first reason is how much he's getting paid and the production that you're getting. And as Tim Allen tells you, man, stop all this nonsense. At the end of any player's long-term deal, there's going to be some type of backwardness, I guess you could say, right, in what they're doing. They're clearly past their prime when you sign a 10-year deal or whatever, and now you're at the end of your career. So, of course, your numbers aren't going to be the same as they were in an MVP year or whatever the case may be. So that's the excuse, whatever you want to say, of, okay, well, it should be okay and acceptable for his numbers to come down some. Which, okay, fine. I'll get down with you. I'm not asking for him to be an MVP. That's not what I'm asking for. You're just asking him to be closer to what he was a year ago. Not 5 years ago. Not 8 years ago. Last year. Is he healthy? I don't know. I got no idea. I'll tell you this. If they came out and said, dude, his back has been bothering him, we've been keeping it under wraps because there's not much we can do to get him better, so he's having to just to play through it because we've tried the injection, we've tried everything, and he's just got to deal with it going forward. If that's what it is physically, and if that's a thing, and again, we don't know, I haven't heard anything, but if that's it, then everybody's like, okay, so it's a physical thing. Well, then if that's the scenario, then you have to have an honest conversation of how much longer can you leave him in the lineup if it's not going to get any better physically? Like, if that's what it is. If it's a physical thing and you give him an injection and he sits for 2 weeks, but then he's good for the last month, then give him the damn injection and put him out for 2 weeks. Let him get his back as healthy as he can get it. Maybe they're waiting to get closer to the playoffs before they do anything to get him that boost of being as physically fit as he can be for his back to get him through the playoffs. I don't know. That's just guessing because I can't explain outside of the physical struggle. If that's what's happening, I understand what the problem is. If it's not the physical struggle, I really am grasping at straws as how you go from last year to this year that dramatically. And to what Dillard was saying, he's pretty much hinting at the fact of it's kind of just a bunch of bad luck. Like, he's hitting the ball hard. It's just finding people. That's pretty much kind of what Dillard was laying out there for you on Brewers TV in pregame yesterday. Now, maybe you get down with that and say he's had a bunch of bad luck. The numbers may say that. Me watching it, I don't feel the same way.
No. It feels like sometimes he gets caught swinging at pitches he shouldn't.
He had a couple of really bad swings last night.
Yesterday, yeah, that were awful. And it feels like that's something you shouldn't be seeing from a player who, like Pat Murphy's talking about, as a former MVP, that good of a player last season, had MVP level play when he was healthy. Like, he was that good last year. And for some reason, it's all gone this year. And I find it hard to believe that it is something physical because the Brewers in the past have always been cautious with Christian Yelich and have been willing to go the safe route with him when it comes to his back over the past few seasons. And to all of a sudden, if it is this whole case of, like you're saying, oh, there's nothing else we can do, like, that's still not what the Brewers would do. They would shut him down and see if they could give him that type of rest because they've done that with Brandon Woodruff twice this season before they put him on the long-term IL. You've done this before with him and other players, and for you not to do it this time is confusing. And then if it is, oh, this is just the way he is now, you're right. You can't let him play anymore then. Like, that's crazy. If he's going to go out there and be detrimental to the team, and this is what his ceiling is as a player, and you have other options in your minor leagues on your bench because Joe Ortiz isn't playing right now, and he's been a much better offensive option than Christian Yelich, then you have to go and give those other options opportunities to play and help you win baseball games.
He's Charlie using C-Sparking Fiber with you. Murphy says we gotta just lay off Yelich. Be nice to him, wrap our arms around him, give him a hug. Don't boo him. Don't be bad-mouthing him. He meant so much to the organization. And at the end of the day, if they're going to go to win this thing, he's got to be right. And us essentially being negative is probably not going to help his mindset to get to where he needs to be going forward. Do you agree with Pat Murphy? Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Ron in Rome, you're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily. What's up, Ron?
Yeah, hi, Charlie.
You all right? You good?
Yeah, I'm old. I'm having a senior moment.
Okay.
But, I was at the game last night. I don't think we need to cuddle Yelich. Personally, I've had back problems, and I think he should retire before he has a lifetime of pain ahead of him.
Okay. Now, that is something else that could potentially be addressed at the end of the year. Like, if he gets to the end of the year and looks back at this year and goes, I just don't know. Like, I might just be done. Maybe he does walk off into the sunset after this year if he can't figure it out between now and the end of the year. Because I do believe the part that I'm 100% certain on is he wants them to win a World Series. He wants this organization to finish. He's been here forever. He wants them to finish, however that ends up looking. And I'm sure he does not want to be the reason why they don't finish.
Well, the main reason I called was I was in section 213 last night. I'm pretty sure the players could hear you. And I was trying to yell, encourage him to, like, come on, get a hit, Christian, and that. And there's this kid in his 20s, and it was, I think it was the seventh inning when, he wasn't hitting all game. Before he's even taken a swing, he's yelling, "You suck, boo, you strike out, blah, blah, blah." What's he hoping to accomplish there?
Was it a Brewers fan?
Yes.
He had Brewers gear on?
Yes.
Well, that's stupid.
I think he's frustrated that he sucks, but yeah, everybody's frustrated. But don't be yelling at the guy while he's at bat.
No, that's dumb. If you're intoxicated, we all do dumb things. When you're intoxicated, okay, I'll get down with that. If you're sober and screwing over your own dude in your own park, that's beyond dumb. Thanks for the call. I don't. Again, I was here, so I obviously was not there. I don't understand why any fan would do that. Like, how do you think that is going to motivate the guy that is going to help you win a ball game? And I don't care how bad he is. For instance, Tim Allen was all about the Joey, all about those Joey chants, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I kept telling Tim, I said, okay, you got it to work. You got your Joey chants. But it was sarcasm. Like, it was like, okay, Will, come on, Joey.
Yeah, but
let's
it's positive
go,
still.
Joey. Right? But you're right.
It's
yeah,
positive still.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it was kind of sarcastic. So then Joey gets going, and Tim's like, where are the Joey chants? I'm like, they don't need them anymore. It was just fun to do because Joey was so bad. Like, I don't know what the Yelich chant is to try and do the same type of thing, but, like, that's the next thing. Like, you've got to figure out a way at the game of how do we get his confidence up? How do you get good vibes going, kind of when he's at the plate? To Murphy's point. I don't know. Yelich. Is that the chant? Is that what we do?
Him. That's what Philadelphia did for Trey Turner a couple of years ago, and that worked. And
yes,
maybe that helps because it was Philadelphia. It's a pretty ruthless place to play. So if you're a player and you're all of a sudden getting the whole stadium to cheer for you, that's a pretty cool feeling because they don't cheer for anybody, even when they're doing good. They're always complaining about something. In Milwaukee, maybe that doesn't work the same because usually we're pretty positive about everything. So no matter what fans are rooting for you, I feel like that one fan, that 120-year-old Brewers fan yelling at Christian Yelich, I don't think that's the majority. Like, I think that's a lot of fans have this mindset of, like me and you, where we have that respect for Christian Yelich. Like, Pat Murphy's not wrong that fans should want to respect Christian Yelich and be a fan of Christian Yelich. But at the same time, we understand that he's not helping the team right now. And it's frustrating to watch him when he's out there not helping the team. And you can see it's frustrating him. Like, that's frustrating to see. That's frustrating him. Like, I don't want to see him with that mindset out there on the field because I do think he's a great player and a great guy, and he's done a lot for the city. So that's awful to see him like that. I also think that some of these fans that are going out there and just booing and thinking that's going to help or thinking that's fun to do, like, that's just a waste of your time because you're not in the majority. You're not with all these other fans that I think like Sparky and I and think like some of our callers. You're not with that group. You're just out there wasting your time, making yourself look like an idiot. And if he does hear you, you're not helping him at all.
Got a bunch of stuff coming in on the Dugout YouTube chat. Eric from the Prairie says, Christian Yelich will be just fine. Wisconsin fans being the worst in all of sports. That's a horrible take. Can't have any grace in regards to Yelich. None of them have ever played a professional sport, let alone a sport. That's just a horrible take. 1,000 times over. Like, first of all, maybe Eric's never lived anywhere else in the country. He's only lived in his one town this entire time and has never been to sporting events anywhere else or whatever. But I promise you, dude, we are not the worst sports fans ever. Like, that is a horrible take. The whole thing of none of them have ever played a professional sport. That, you're right. Like 1% plays each professional sport, right? So, yes, you're right. That aspect, absolutely correct. The whole, let alone a sport, whatever. That doesn't even matter. I mean, I get you're up in your feelings and you're mad about this and you're a big Yelich guy or whatever the case may be. I would guess Eric would probably also be of the belief of if your team sucks, don't boo them. There are a lot of people that believe that if they're bad, don't boo them, right? Because you're at home, don't boo them. There are a lot of players that feel like, hey, don't boo me. I don't have that necessarily the same opinion. That doesn't bother me. If the Bucks are getting smoked by 30 and guys aren't hustling and they're walking and don't give a damn, and you spent $200 on tickets or whatever else the case may be.
By then you're not spending $200 on tickets if they're
well, I'm just saying, plus you're spending $30 or $40 on parking because they're not going to change the rate on that. Screw you. So you're going to spend all that money, right? And then they're going to be horrible. And then it's like, well, don't boo me. Dude, if you're not hustling and playing hard, yeah, you're kind of going to get booed. Like that, to me, I'm fine with it. That doesn't bother me. I am not fine, however, with yelling derogatory things at your own dude, telling him he's horrible while he's at the free throw. Giannis, you suck. You'll never make any free throws. And you're wearing a Giannis jersey. Like, shut up. Like, that has no place with me whatsoever.
Well,
none.
And especially for like guys like Christian Yelich, and I would say Giannis. I know some people will disagree, but I think Giannis, for the most part in his career, like those guys have always worked hard. They've always played hard, even when their teams are bad. Like there's no reason to be yelling at that guy. It's not like they have a history of giving up or laying down in random parts of the season. That's just not who they are. So why are we pretending like that's what they're doing now when maybe they're just struggling?
Yep. 262 on the Nikolai Law Talking text line. Murphy loses all credibility in the same week. He pulls Sproat mid bat and then sticks up for Yelich when he looks terrible at the plate. I get Sproat hasn't done anything in the league yet, but what about not pulling a young pitcher trying to figure it out? As I've said before, the daddy ball thing with him is real. You get into his doghouse, good luck. Tobias Mars got in and Tobias Mars was gone. Right? And he was the guy that he was under fire with the whole time. Sproat has been that guy, for whatever the reason, has been that guy with Murphy the entire time. Meanwhile, you can be god-awful like Blake Perkins and keep your job at the major league level while Luis Lara is sitting down there at AAA tearing the cover off the ball, and it's like, well, he's young. That doesn't mean he's ready for the majors, blah, 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 blah. And finally, it gets so damn bad, you got no choice, because Matt Arnold's probably like, dude, I've had enough. I'm done. I just want to see. Right? Oh, here, we got an extension. Come on up. And has Luis Lara looked better than Blake Perkins? Yes. Should Luis Lara been up here a hell of a lot sooner? Yes.
Anybody should have been
right.
up here a lot.
But this is the stuff we deal with. And again, manager of the year multiple times. Great. Wonderful. That's wonderful. But he does have his things that you can kind of read as a fan of how this all looks. People have been yelling and screaming for Yelich to get out of that leadoff spot for months. People have been yelling for that. And he let him alone. And I get it. You love him. He's your guy. He was so good last year. You want to give him every opportunity to work out of the funk. There's 2 months left in the season. You gave this dude 4 months to figure this out. You didn't give him 2 months and said, all right, down to 5 or 6. No. Would that have been reasonable to me? Yes. You didn't give him 3 months to do it. Would that have been reasonable? That's half the season. Yep. Now you finally, after 4 months, move him to 7. Last night I brought it up to Tim. I said, now what's going to happen if he goes to 7 and does not perform? What then? What then is going to happen?
You don't just move him to 9. You can't. You have to drop him out.
He doesn't have a hit in August right now. If we get to September 1st and he hits like, I don't know, $125 in August, what are you going to do? Tim's like, well, maybe you platoon him at DH, but you're just not going to straight up bench him because he's Christian Yelich. I don't think they'll even platoon him. I don't think anybody is taking that cat's job. No matter how bad this gets, he's going to have that job. So Murphy is right. Very, very right about if we're going to win this, he has to play well. 1,000% right. That is what it's going to come down to, because no matter how bad he plays, he's not taking him out. John in Hartford, you're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily.
Hey, Sparky.
What's up?
So didn't Christian Yelich spend some time on the injured list earlier this year for his back?
Yep.
Okay, I believe when he went on the injured list, he was hitting over 300.
Let's see.
I may be misremembering that because I'm old, but to me, it looks like he's caught in between taking pitches to work the count and then watching down the middle strikes go by and then getting deep in the count and swinging at stuff that's either down and in on them or breaking away from them and just looking god-awful.
I'm trying to find the date where Yelich went on the injury list.
Does May 13th sound right?
Yeah, it says 3 months ago the Brewers have reinstated Yelich from the injured list. So let's see. Let's go back now and look at his game log. It's a great observation. Let's go back and look at his game log and see what his numbers look like before that and then shortly thereafter that. Because that is, again, we talked about the back. And I said, did I or did I not, Charlie, say last year? Thanks for the call, John. Did I or did I not last year tell you that back surgery, I was like, I guarantee you this is not going to fix everything, right? I guarantee you this is going to continue to be an ongoing issue with that back.
So it looks like he went on the injured list. His last game before going on the injured list was April 12th. He was batting .314 when he went on the injured list, 826 OPS. And then he came back May 12th and was down to 291.
He had 208 in May when he came back.
Mm-hmm.
And in April, he had 294. In March, he hit 353.
Yeah, and he didn't have the biggest sample size when he was batting .314, so that's not the craziest number, but also still pretty significant that he fell off that
by
quickly.
the time he went out, he had 51 at-bats when he went out.
And he was pretty solidly around 270 to 280 throughout the beginning of June. So he was still pretty solid average-wise through that point in the season even too.
See, again, I don't know.
And then just fell off a cliff from there. Yeah.
I think it's a physical thing, and either he's not talking about it or they don't want to talk about it or whatever. There just has to be more to this. There's no way you're going to tell me a guy that's been in the league that long, that's made a million adjustments in his career to get himself out of issues and funks and so forth, can get into this type of funk for this long without there being a physical issue. And you've got 3 hitting coaches and everybody else over there, everybody watching film and trying to figure it. He can't figure it out. I don't know.
I don't know. It helps Jackson Chourio had the game he did last night. I think that was really important. But when Jackson Chourio was struggling the way he was, and William Contreras hasn't exactly been the offensive star that he's been in the past, you have other guys that you're focusing on too, not just Christian Yelich. I think that takes your attention away from having 3 hitting coaches on this one problem.
From the 414, my problem with Murph is that he doesn't go after veterans in the same way he goes after the young guys. The veterans on this team are performing very poorly and deserve to be harshly criticized. No, he's definitely not doing that. There's just no chance. And I'm telling you right now, almost every manager or coach in professional sports normally is not going after a vet. Just not, especially a vet that has got a track record, because the thinking is they'll bounce back. Eventually, they'll bounce back and play, like they do for the rest of their career. It's just a bad month. It's a bad month and a half. That's all right. They'll figure it out. They're close. And then you're telling yourself, oh, look at this. Look, see that hard hit ball? He's close. He's right there. Oh, look, he walked twice. He's seeing the ball better. Here we go. And you're continuing to sell yourself on that he's close to getting out of it. And then it just never happens. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. My friends over there at Bryant and Stratton are doing a great job. Looking for a college where you can excel in the classroom and on the field? At Bryant and Stratton College's Wauwatosa campus, you can compete in the NJCAA Division II athletics with more than 20 men's and women's teams to choose from. Keep playing the sport you love while earning your associate degree in business, healthcare, criminal justice, or digital marketing. Athletic scholarships are available for those who qualify. Again, scholarships equal money to pay for your schooling. I promise you, that should be important to you if you're listening and you're 16 years old. This is something you should consider highly. Visit BryanStratton.edu and discover how Bryant and Stratton College is built different for you. Maybe they should play this for Christian Yelich's walk-up song. Little Michael Jackson, right? Get the people like bouncing in their seats, right? That's a positive song, right?
That's all it needs. It's like just a positive song. You think that's all it takes?
I don't know, man. Like baseball is so mental. Like all sports are mental, right? Again, I never played a pro sport.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a mental thing. Coming in there with a confident attitude and everything else. And the other thing that you always hear too about sports, and I firmly believe this, it's kind of like envisioning like kind of what's going to happen, before it actually happens and being relaxed in that moment. Not everybody can be relaxed in a moment, but that's just another aspect of it. From the 262, if I remember correctly, this offense went nuts for the first, I believe, 2 weeks in June, where they led the league in runs scored, and it was by a huge margin. Check the numbers since June 15th on our top 5 hitters. Have any of them produced the way they did the first 10 weeks of the season? Yelich is a huge problem, but the top of the batting order has been atrocious for 2 months. You're right. I don't have to look at the numbers. Contreras has fallen off. I think Terang has fallen off to a degree. These guys have absolutely fallen off. It's not
Terang
just
had an
Yelich.
all right July compared to the rest of the guys for sure.
Correct.
Yeah.
But again, that is something that has definitely been an issue. Vaughn hasn't been the same. Vaughn's power has not been there. That's why that home run the other night I was super excited about.
Both him and Churio last night, that was awesome to see both of them get on the board that way.
Did you hear what Murphy said about Churio?
I didn't know.
Well, I'll play for that for you coming up in a little bit here. Yeah, he said it, and me too. Like, whoa. Yeah, that was a moment in that post-game press conference too that I don't think people are talking about. Justin in Watertown, you're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily. What's up, Justin?
Hey, Sparky. So this whole Christian Yelich thing is reminding me of that Disney movie where the kid inherits the Minnesota Twins.
Yes.
And he's all excited about that guy that is his favorite player because he kept the card and didn't trade it away. And the guy's like, dude, we're getting excited about a walk. What are we doing here?
Yep.
It's like, that's Yelich right now. We're getting excited for little things. And I understand he's a leader, but sometimes being a leader is realizing I need to step away. I need to take a spot on the bench because I need to help this team win. And sometimes that's leadership, seeing the big picture and realize I'm not contributing. And I need to step away and let someone else take that spot. And that's I think, what he needs to do. He needs to be like, I'm not playing to my performance. Maybe it's a health issue. It seems like it could be. Maybe it's something else. But he's got to be like, I'm not doing it right now. Bench me.
Yeah, I just don't know who does that, though, in pro sports. Like, do we have an example of somebody that benched themselves because they weren't playing well?
For a leadership, I don't know. I mean, the dude's getting $30 million a year. He's got to be producing. I mean, that's the frustrating part, right?
I agree. I don't disagree with you, Justin. I'm just saying, I just don't know how many millionaires have sat themselves on purpose with their coach or manager and saying, hey, I'm not producing. You should probably place somebody else in front of me. Thanks for the call. That's all I'm saying. I just don't think it's very common. I think it's very, very rare to ask a guy making $23, $24, $25 million to pull himself voluntarily out of the lineup to let somebody else, take those shots in that designated hitter role. I'll be honest with you, I just don't think that's happening. I mean, I know it's all about team first and all that. I just don't think he's going to bench himself.
PCA just hit his second home run of the game.
I did not ask. Or do I care?
I just got distracted by that. But yeah, I would say with like baseball, maybe you'd have a little more luck with that type of situation still because of the guaranteed contracts, because he's a more veteran player who's made so much money in his career. I think because, you're on a $28 million contract if we're talking about somebody else, and you say, but you're also 35 years old, you've had a lot of baseball in your career, we could win you a ring if you just take a back seat. And you can convince those guys a lot easier. And Christian Yelich is starting to get to that type of player that if you can truly convince him this is what is going to help win the Brewers a World Series, that you are on the bench instead, you help us in clutch moments, you be a leader, you be the guy on the bench, a secondary bench coach for us, that'd be awesome. We could really use that right now. You're making a lot of money. Do us a favor. Take a back seat. I think you could do that easier in the MLB than other leagues.
I want to play this Cheerio comment from Pat Murphy from last night. So he's talking about the offense going a little bit last night, and the guys that played well. Check this out. Now pay attention to Murphy here. It's not very long.
And they did some good things. Vaughn and Churio was that's the Churio that we might get for a full season. They might be yelling those 3 letters for him.
What?
As in
MVP.
Ooh.
That is not Murphy-like. That was the farthest back. He said, I was like, whoa, Pat Murphy stepping out on Cheerios saying, MVP?
He
what?
was that good last night. That game was an MVP type of game. That was so much fun to watch, and it's something that feels like we've been waiting for from a Jackson Chourio all season, because we got that in the past few seasons, those little bubbles where you saw that potential.
You get the flashes, yeah.
This year, it didn't feel like you were getting a whole lot of flashes from him. You were just starting to be like, okay, Jackson, let's figure it out. Let's start going here. Last night's game felt like one of those flashes, so hopefully you can get that for the last few months of the regular season into the postseason here.
715 on the Nicolay Law Talking text line. We got 3 really good years on the Yelich extension. When Yelich and Woody could come off the books, the Brewers will be in a better spot to sign better veterans. Yeah. Yellie's got 2 more years. Woody obviously comes off now. I got a text from a buddy of mine today. He said, hey, just randomly, like we weren't texting or anything, just randomly sent it to me. What would you think if the Brewers signed Woodruff to be like a 5th pitching coach or something for a year? And that way he could work out of the facilities and all of that, still be in the dugout on game day, still hanging off his boys, with the idea that then the next year when he's ready, they essentially bring him back again, but he's still around the guys. He's helping Coach Miz. He's helping with Harrison. He's helping with these cats. What do you think of that?
I think that's a waste of time.
I love that idea. I'm
sure,
like, that's not a half bad idea.
If he wants to be a coach moving forward,
I'm
okay with that.
Just
I don't want him to come back after a year, though. Like,
he's not retiring.
Like that, I think that's like, yeah, if he wants to retire and be a coach,
no.
I'm okay with that. If that's not the plan, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I don't think it's a half bad idea, because then you get the mentorship of the players still. You get everything that comes along with the leadership of having Woodruff around, kind of knowing that, okay, then we come back next year. Now, Woodruff would have to play ball, because if Woodruff is like, hell no, but you could sign me to a $10 million deal for next year. I won't play, but I'll be around the team in the same way you want me to be as a coach, and I'll work out at the facility during the season. I think that's probably more likely what Woodruff would want to do versus just, I won't make any money and just be a coach this year. I mean, it could be wrong, but I just don't think that's what's going to be. All right, take a quick time out. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you. Welcome in. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, Charlie Usen, other side of the glass. Got a couple minutes here. There's so much Packer stuff we need to get to. So I think we're gonna make an audible here, Charlie. At 3:00, we're gonna get in some training camp stuff, what happened at training camp today, and so forth. And then at 4:00, we can get to our green and gold update. We've got coordinators that talked today. Tucker Kraft was on Up and Adams. I believe Jordan Love was up on Up and Adams as well. So lots to get to Packers wise. So I just want to make sure everybody realizes we're not talking Brewers for 3 hours. Don't worry, we're not going to do that. I promise. This is something else that I am curious about. From the 920. He says, do not agree with Pat Murphy. In the postgame, he is talking about Yelich 5 to 6 seasons ago, talking about what he was and what he used to do. Not everyone should get a participation trophy. This is professional baseball. Yelich is hurting this team on the field, and nobody can deny that. It's time to sit him down and play him one game per series against a right-handed pitcher. Vaughn is a better option at DH moving forward. Let Yelich pinch hit if you really need to see him every game from the 920. I think that if you asked a majority of people that listen to the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, that most of them would probably agree with that to a certain degree. I think most right now would agree that Yelich should definitely not be playing every day as it's currently constructed. Like, you play 6 games in a week, he plays all 6. Mm-hmm. That, again, the way he's playing does not justify him getting to play every day. Joey Ortiz had 3 hits the other night, and what happens? He sits the next day. Andrew Vaughn will hit a home run. He sits the next day. Yelich doesn't have a hit in the month of August, and he's playing every day.
He only gets rest when William Contreras needs rest.
Correct.
So when they need to put William Contreras at DH or play somebody else, Gary Sanchez, at DH for some reason, that's when Christian Yelich gets off. Other than that, he's the only person outside of Bryce Trang that's in that lineup every single day, it feels like.
That's the thing that you wonder if in the clubhouse, if they're all like, dude, super nice guy. He's helped us out. But damn, man, like at some point here, we gotta do something different than what we're doing. You just wonder if the players in the clubhouse are starting to question him still playing every day and being a regular. They're not going to do it to his face. They're not going to have it to his face, but dudes go out to the road, go out on the road when they're in LA or San Diego next week and having dinner. You just wonder if that comes up. Like, man, what do you think about Yelich? I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how much longer they can continue to run him out there. And it's just those two guys just having a conversation. You just wonder if those conversations have started to happen. Have they been happening? How long have they been happening? That's the thing that I wonder.
Well, and especially when Cooper Pratt and Luis Lara are playing as well as they are, do you think a lot of these guys go, hey, I mean, Andrew Fisher's right down there. Like, these other young guys have played well. Hey, Luke Adams is right there. These other young guys have played well. Let's give somebody else a shot.
Jesus Madej is the best player in the minor leagues. Yeah, that's the thing. But as I've said before, I just don't really think that at the end of the day, they want to play a lot of young guys in the postseason if they don't have to.
You've already done it more than you thought you would this season.
Right, but I'm just saying, in the postseason, I think if you gave them their druthers, they'd rather not play the young guys as much and would rather play the veterans when the lights get brightest and maybe not give the young guys that opportunity. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, Charlie Usen over there. We'll come back. We'll talk about Packers training camp, what happened today up in Green Bay. Straight ahead.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
It is time again. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Leadoff show comes up at 5 o'clock, takes you to 6:30. Game 3. Kyle Harrison on the mound against Paul Skeens. Kyle Harrison, that transaction was made in the last hour. He is activated. Grant Anderson sent out to Nashville.
Oh, the workhorse, man. I kind of feel bad for Grant Anderson, don't you?
I feel worse for Stallings, if we're being honest. I'd rather would have Stallings than Anderson. And Anderson's numbers, again, aren't bad.
Talk about Pat Murphy guy, too.
Yeah, but I mean, his numbers, if you look at Anderson's numbers
he's
last year.
always just, like, fine.
Yes,
he's the most fine pitcher on earth.
Anderson's numbers last year were fine. They were good. They were okay.
This year he's been fine.
Yes.
He's been good, yeah.
But for whatever the reason, people always think he sucks. And he doesn't suck. But you always, I'll just speak to myself. Whenever he comes in, I was like, oh, man. That's always my reaction is, oh, man. Then you look at his numbers like 2 ERA last year, 2.5. It's like, what are you freaking out about? I'm like, I don't know, but I always get scared when he comes into the game.
I think he just, like, comes in moments a lot of the times when the Brewers are struggling. So it feels like these really low leverage, middle of the game type of moments that you don't remember or that you don't want to remember because the team's not doing well. And then he's always fine. So I think you always just expect the worst because everything else is going bad around him. But then he comes in and kind of settles it for you.
Correct.
He's like the antacid, you know?
The antacid.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
Pepto-Bismol relievers.
That's not nice. I want to address something here quickly before we get to the training camp thing, because I saw this earlier today, or actually maybe it was yesterday, but I saw it today. Did you see the video of Andrew Luck throwing the football?
I did not see this, no.
Andrew Luck was throwing the football to Zach Ertz, who's coming back from his ACL injury last year. And Ertz is at Stanford, where Luck is running the show. And Luck is throwing balls to Zach Ertz on different route combinations, whatever else. I mean, he still looks good. We're being honest. I think threw a ball like behind of the one or whatever, but like that dude totally could play. And it's funny because you hear Andrew Luck talk, and he's just like, I didn't love the game. That wasn't for me. See ya. That's pretty much what it was.
That's fair. I appreciate the honesty as a fan.
I didn't love the game. So goodbye.
I think there's guys who go out there and don't give it their all. They just know that they're getting paid a lot of money and don't want to be out on the field, and they shows. I think I appreciate a guy that understands when his time's up.
1,000%. So Adam Schefter points out that Zach Ertz is out there and thinks he's going to be ready to go this month to sign with somebody. The Packers have all their tight ends hurt, pretty much. Everybody's pretty much
cut their 2 backup ones and brought in 2 more backup ones to give them a shot. Yeah.
Come on, Green Bay. Why not? What could it possibly hurt? Like, go sign Ertz, bring him in. He's not going to cost you a ton. I just don't see how that's possible. You just sign him to a 1-year deal, prove a deal, give him a bunch of incentives, see what can happen, put him out there, him and Tucker Kraft, and let's go. With all due respect to Luke Musgrave, the neck scares the hell out of me. So I'm not putting all my poker chips on Luke Musgrave to be healthy all year. So if I am Goody, I'm at Zach Ertz's workout, and I'm trying to sign Zach Ertz. And just like, hey, man, we're going to throw the ball more this year than we did last year. We're going to run a bunch of 2 tight end sets, and we want to go win a damn championship. Are you in or not? That would be my pitch. Simple. That's what we're trying to do. Do you want to come play or not? And if I'm Zach Ertz, I mean, I know it's Green Bay. It's not Arizona. It's cold, all that. But, yeah, man, I think I'm in if I'm Zach Ertz to go play with Jordan Love in that offense.
I think I'd be intrigued. If I'm the Packers, then I need to go sign a former offensive lineman who's not a tight end to be that 4th tight end because you have no blocking in that room outside of Tucker Kraft. I don't think you really want him to be in a lot of blocking situations, or at least high-impact blocking situations this year. So you need to go out there and find somebody else to kind of offset that, which means you're going to have 4 tight ends in your tight end room, which I don't really like having that much weight in that room. I'd prefer just to stick with 3. I think he's an interesting option if you are for sure thinking Luke Musgrave is done for the season or that you're done messing around with Luke Musgrave. that has to be the type of move that you're making if you're going to bring in Zach Ertz on the other side.
He's the second guy.
Yeah.
He's not the third guy, not the fourth guy. The second guy has to be him.
But then again, I think Luke Musgrave can't be on the team or can't be a part of the roster, at least while Zach Ertz is too.
Right. And see, that's, to me, that's kind of, the biggest things here at the end of the day as far as what you get out of that. All right. So as far as practice stuff today, not a lot of anything going on with practice, but the coordinators all talked. So Stenovich talked. Gannon talked, and then the Acord,
Cam Acord, yeah.
right? That dude,
that
dude
like psycho, man.
left the podium to go show you how to hold a football and do the whole thing there, right?
He talked longer than both Stenovich and Gannon,
right? Which is fine.
That was just crazy. Just a special teams coordinator going nuts up there.
But if it's entertaining, and if you are educating the people that are there to be smarter without talking down to them, that's the key. Do not talk down to them. If you can do that, because I think Halfley did that, don't you think? Halfley educated along the way without making it feel like you're getting talked down to the whole time.
I think it got him a head coaching job too.
Yes.
I don't even think it was his performance as a defense coordinator. I think it was his press conferences and the way he talked with the media, the way he broke things down. He was always interviewing every single time he stepped up to the podium, and it was awesome. It was great to hear.
Mm-hmm. Some of the stuff, Stenovich said we're not going to play Steno. We're going to play somebody else. But Steno, some of the stuff he said, he loves the player we don't talk about, says he's looked great. The Packers draft pick that can't stay healthy from last year. So we'll see if that happens. He also said that he loves Jacob Monk's play style and that he plays the game the right way, which that was all the same stuff they were saying about Monk coming out of college a couple years ago. Also says Anthony Belton will continue to work at guard and tackle and compete at both spots. All that coming from what Andy Herman had put out earlier today. Now, the guy that I wanted to hear from, Charlie is already like, dude, he stinks. Like, he is so boring, Sparky. I understand,
like him. I don't
but
know.
he's the guy that we have not heard from enough about anything at this point.
I think this is only his second press conference as a Green Bay Packer.
Yes. I believe that's correct, yes. Jonathan Gannon, the defensive coordinator. If you go to CBSSports.com, there is a piece up, and it's the NFL, their NFL writer staff, 3/4 of which I don't know any of them, but they have their guys, girls, whatever, all vote and put together best like play callers, offensive, coordinator type guys, and then they have best defensive play callers, defensive coordinators, whatever else. So LaFleur's in the like 6 or 7, whatever, top 10, right on that list. So I scrolled down. I was like, all right. Let's see where Gannon is. Didn't make top 10. Didn't make honorable mention. Not a word about Jonathan Gannon in that entire list of defensive play callers was not mentioned.
Were you
Now,
really
again,
that surprised?
I don't, like I said before, I don't know most of the people that are writing over there. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying, like, I don't know them. I don't know their credentials, whatever. But I hope and pray that that is not how the rest of the league feels about Jonathan Gannon. Because I was led to believe this whole time that Jonathan Gannon was one of the better defensive play callers, one of the better schemers, and that's why we hired Jonathan Gannon.
Well,
that's what they've been telling us the whole time. I was led to believe that he was the mastermind behind how great that Philadelphia Eagles defense was, which got him a job in Arizona, to which he got stuck with Kyler Murray, and it didn't work out, and now he's out of a job. But his defenses were good in Arizona. So how do you have good to great defenses in Philly, fairly good defenses when they weren't hurt in Arizona, and you're not mentioned in like the top 15, the top half of the league? He doesn't even get mentioned without a single vote? Come on.
Well, the Packers are never going to tell us that they're not excited about a coordinator hiring. They're never going to
But
come
what I
out.
said is factually true about Philly and Arizona, right? He's been good in both spots.
He's been solid in both spots. Guys have liked him a lot, and I think that Philadelphia team, that defense was loaded with a whole bunch of talent, a whole bunch of veteran talent. They had an offense that was loaded with a whole bunch of veteran talent. Like, I think that all helps him as a coach get his job done better. In Arizona, yeah, I think when his defenses were completely healthy, they were good enough, but yes, their offenses fell behind a little bit. but his defenses were never great. Like, it wasn't like you were looking at Arizona and saying, oh, that team could win football games just off their defense. Last season, when you watched Cleveland at points, you would say Cleveland can win games just on their defense. Like, it was that crazy. Minnesota, they can win games just on their defense. You were saying that about other teams. You weren't really saying that about Arizona. I think coming into this spot, getting fired from the head coaching role, we talk about guys needing a little extra motivation sometimes. Maybe this is kind of a reality check for him, that people aren't even really thinking about him, because that's probably more so what it is. I don't want to say Packers beat writers are lying to us when they say they're excited about his resume and how that can help this Packers defense, but at the same time, I don't think he's regarded nearly as highly as he may have used to be when he was with those other teams, and that's something that the Packers can give him an opportunity to put his name back on the map.
Here's Jonathan Gannon earlier today.
You have this kind of calm demeanor about you that we see. You're walking on the field, but a bunch of your players have just said how energetic. A couple of them use the word crazy.
Ooh.
Where does that come from, and is it natural, or are you trying to do that to make a point?
No, I think I'm energetic by nature, because I love what I do, so it's hard not to be energetic and enthused about something. And I'm grateful for this job, so I'm gonna show good energy. But the crazy thing, probably, I don't know who said that. They're probably alluding to, I do believe that words paint pictures. So there's certain things in the install, or certain things when we're going over a tape review, I'll probably use an example that's non-football related, that hopefully it hits their brain and they can understand it a little bit better, or it kind of cements it in, this has to get done. And I sometimes will use some examples that are probably a little bit out there, so maybe that's what they're talking about.
Hey, Jonathan, Tom Silverstein
Tom.
with the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. So 5 games into the season, you're going to get one of the best defensive players in the league back in your lineup, and you don't practice with him until a week or two before that. So how do you prepare to use Michael Parsons now when you don't really have him, and I assume your defense will change to some degree when he comes in?
First of all, let's go back to the first part of your question. Okay. You know something I don't know, huh? Because I don't know when that's going to be. Every timetable is different. But yeah, I think I think our job as coaches, and in my role specifically as the defensive coordinator, is try to put our 11 in the best positions that we can to affect the game in a positive way. And when you do that, that's also, there's an element of your opponent that you're playing as well, right? So I think, what we're doing right now is kind of going through our installs, seeing what our guys are comfortable, seeing their skill sets, seeing what they can do, and then obviously we have a pretty good understanding of the player that Micah is, and see where he fits into all that. And a player like that, it's not, very complicated, in my opinion, to use him or deploy him in a way to affect the game in a positive way. So he's been awesome. He's very smart. He understands a lot of things that we're doing already, how they complement other things that we're trying to do. And he could see himself, we were talking the other day, he could see himself in a bunch of different spots and different calls. So that's kind of cool, and it'll just be our job to make sure that he gets his touches, which he will.
That I love to hear. That is, to me, very, very important, all of this. Because Micah Parsons was, as positive as they could coming to Green Bay and all of that. Then he sees some of the new digs and stuff that they opened up, saw that, and he went crazy again about how great Green Bay is and so forth. But now you change coordinators on him, and his coordinator goes to Miami to be the head coach. So now it's another guy that's coming in that's new. Micah Parsons did not play for the Eagles. He did not play for the Cardinals. So this was going to be a new relationship, and how was this going to work? Not everybody gets along with everybody. Believe it or not. I know it's hard to believe that just not everybody's personalities mesh necessarily, right? So Gannon talking about him being smart, talking about the defense, talking about different concepts of how he could see himself, Gannon listening and acknowledging, going, okay. Like, that's great. I mean, that leads to, Micah Parsons coming to the sideline and saying, hey, they're doing this, this, and this. If we do this call on 3rd and long, I got them. There's no chance they're going to have anything. And Gannon trusting him, going like, yeah, all right, cool. I got you. Let's do it. That is just, you want that from your best player and your new play caller to be on the same page that quickly.
Well, and Jonathan Gannon would be stupid not to listen to Micah Parsons and Xavier McKinney. Like, you just got fired from the Arizona Cardinals, a team that was not very good, that you had a lot of opportunities to be a leader. I think taking this step back and kind of humbling yourself and saying, hey, these are two guys who are two of the best players in football on that side of the ball, Micah Parsons in football in general.
Right.
I think you have to sit back and say, okay, let's take some time, listen to these guys, build that relationship to allow them to grow as leaders and trust me as well, because they know I'm listening to them.
Let's go to the phones. Nicolay Law Talk and text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with me, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. John in Franklin, you're next. What's going on, John?
Hey, Spark. I'm listening to the conversation, and this is what it is for me. When we were looking for a defensive coordinator, I wasn't necessarily thinking about Gannon. There were some other names out there. And if you take the green and gold glasses off and just try to look at things somewhat neutral, which for you and I is very hard to do. But you can understand why. Look at how we went out last year. They're down there in Chicago. They're feeling really good, and I think maybe they should. Nobody's thinking about the fact that the playoff game we lost, we crapped ourselves and handed the game to them. All they think about is the crazy, incredible pass Caleb hit. They didn't think about the missed field goals and all the things we did wrong to lose that game. So from where I'm at, Sparky, I'm okay. Yeah. All right, our quarterback ain't that good. Our defense ain't that good. Yeah, whatever. Let's just go out there and earn it. Let's go ahead and earn the respect that we feel we should be getting.
That's exactly right, and that's really what it's all about. Thanks for the call, John. Getting the respect. Now, you can talk about Packers defense, trying to get respect. Jordan Love is the guy that should be talking about getting respect. Like, that's the dude for like the last 2 off seasons, especially this off season. People just continue to go at time and time and time again. There was a piece that I saw on social media. I didn't clip it, stupidly, from the Ringer account. And we all know, don't like the Ringer. And Bill Simmons had on Packer girl Mina Kimes and kind of set her up talking about Jordan Love and comparing him to like Justin Herbert, who always gets flack for, not being as good as what his numbers say, blah, blah, blah. And Mina Kimes kind of just went off. And she's like, I know you're setting me up here, but he's got this image of being a guy that throws a ton of interceptions, and that's just not what he has done in his career. He's like bottom 3rd in the league when it comes to throwing interceptions. The problem is that when he throws an interception, it looks so goofy and awkward and whatever when he makes a bad decision that it just blows up and everybody wants to talk about it. So that there is a dude that is still fighting for respect. You got this athletic piece that comes out. Yesterday in the pre-show meeting, Mike Sando put it together. Mike Sando does a great job, the quarterback. He does it every year. It's awesome. We had Sando on last year to talk about it. But when we read it yesterday, Charlie and I was like, there's nothing here. They got Jordan Love ranked 10th. That's about right. Nothing to see here. Let's just move on and not even bother really talking about it. But from him being in the top 10 with people from around the league, not writers, but people around the league, I think they see him correctly. For Jordan Love, though, the question is, okay, how do I get seen in the way that I want to be seen? How do I get seen to be a top 3 quarterback or a top 5 quarterback by everybody? Not just peers, but get the respect that I want. Now, in my opinion, the one glaring hole that always gets talked about with Jordan Love is not winning big games at the end, right? Not having those flashy plays. Caleb Williams can throw 100 incompletions, but has a drive, and then they're like, oh, he's better than Jordan Love. He's unbelievable. Did you see that drive? Did you watch the other 3.5 quarters of him? Did you see? No? Okay, just checking. But that is what got him climbing up the respect chart with everybody is his ability in big moments to make big plays to a certain degree, right? Outside that interception in the Green Bay game last year. But for the most part, that's what got his reputation up. Love doesn't have a lot of those yet. Do I think he'll get them? Yes. But right now, he doesn't have those. And if you go back to Rodgers' rookie year, I was super critical of Rodgers back then because they weren't finishing games. They were losing all these close games at the end. And I was like, man, like, we just watched Brett Favre. He figured out how to win close games all the time. Lost them too, but you knew you had a chance. And with Rodgers, just never really kind of got into that groove for me personally. And then over the course of time, you start to see that more and more from Rodgers. Now, a lot of his heroic end-of-game situations are those Hail Mary passes, right? A lot of those. Not a lot of just the normal standard ones where he's winning with, the clock going off and he throws a 12-yard touchdown pass to somebody and they win walking off the field. Doesn't have a big portfolio of those. Caleb Williams is building that portfolio. Can Jordan Love find those moments and have those moments this year? I think that's how he kind of takes it to the next level. Win 2 or 3 games at the end for your team and be the hero in those moments.
Well, and I don't even think it has to be at the end of the game. I think Jordan Love at points is just too boring of a quarterback. I think when he has really bad interceptions, they stand out more because he doesn't have a whole lot of highlight plays throughout an entire game that I think make people really go, wow, he's really efficient. I think he does the job really well. I think he runs Matt LaFleur's offense really well. Like, that's what statistically makes him one of the safest and one of the most consistent quarterbacks in the NFL on paper. But when you're watching him and when we're talking about guys like Caleb Williams having these highlight moments and Aaron Rodgers having these highlight moments, yes, a lot of them happen at the end of those games, but they have them throughout the course of an entire game too. And Jordan Love, I think, needs more of that. He needs more opportunities to have those wow type of moments. He talks about it with Kay Adams, and we'll hear it later, but about the no-look passes and throwing those more often, or having the deep ball and being able to get it downfield a little bit more often. Matt LaFleur keeps getting asked about that too. I think those are all huge steps towards getting Jordan Love that recognition when he has more opportunities to make big plays overall, not just opportunities to make bad interceptions like we've seen. And that feels like the only opportunity he's had so far.
It's the return of the fan favorite everyone's been asking for. The pretzel bacon pub cheeseburgers back at Wendy's. Fresh, never frozen beef, creamy beer cheese, Munster cheese, Applewood smoked bacon, and crispy onions all on a pretzel bun. Add a side of delicious bacon pub fries to create a combo so good you'll feel like you're at an actual pub after one bite. Limited time only. Coming up next, we switch gears one more time, and we are going to go to what happened last night on Hard Knocks for the Seattle Seahawks. Charlie begrudgingly agreed to watch it because we've done it every year we've been on. Charlie and I, we do it every year. We always review the Hard Knocks the day after on Wednesdays, and it was losing teams that we were talking about. This year, they pick a Super Bowl team, and Charlie's not happy about it and thinks it's not going to be as good as it was the other way. So, episode 1 dropped last night. We'll discuss it next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Welcome in. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Charlie Usen over there. Leadoff show comes up at 5 o'clock. Harrison activated from the IL to go against Paul Skeens tonight at American Family Field. Don't forget, Potawatomi Sportsbook has your shuttles to and from home games, baby. $5 wager at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and you are good to go. Just tell me you need your bracelet for the shuttle, and you're off. Full menu. Go pregame there a little bit, right? 40 beers on tap, dozen different specialty cocktails, homemade pastries and desserts made every day at the Potawatomi Casino Hotel here in Milwaukee. They take care of you. You're going to have a great time, have something to eat, recliner chairs you can sit in, big leather, black leather recliner chairs, tabletops, big booths for like 8 people, 2 levels of seating. It's awesome. It is absolutely awesome. 2,000 square foot center screen. There's nowhere else better to be to watch any sporting event going forward, including, like, they have UFC fight nights that they put on there. They turn up the sound really nice and loud for everybody. So definitely check them out today at Potawatomi.com. All right, time to talk about what happened on Hard Knocks Episode 1 last night. We'll spend just a few minutes on this because we've got to get to Charlie's sounds of the day. All right, Charlie. I told Charlie, since he begrudgingly didn't want to watch it, before we came on there, go, Charlie, why don't you lead this segment? Got him. All right, go ahead.
I would like to lead off by saying, so far I'm right. I did not find the fact that it's the reigning Super Bowl champions made it any more entertaining than normal.
Man.
If not, like, it made it more boring for me still at the same time, too.
The Ian Rappaport
We can start
report. That's something else.
So
there.
This is John Schneider discussing Devon Witherspoon not being happy with the report coming out that the Seahawks potentially were trying to make him the highest paid corner in the league, and that he was saying no, and apparently he was mad that report was being had. Here's John Schneider talking about what he did after that report came out.
Spoon got wigged out, not last night, the previous night, because Ian Rappaport reported that we were making him the highest paid guy, and he's not accepting it, and da-da-da-da. So I called Ian and was like, hey man, like, you need to call the agent and tell him that's not from us, you know. Mo talked to Spoon, everything's fine. He's like, he gets it, he's in a good spot now.
This is my thing. So then who is telling him? If it weren't you all, then wouldn't it make sense that the agent was the one talking?
Right.
Potentially.
Who else benefits from this?
But the agent makes this guy look bad if it's the agent talking. So, Ian, where'd you get your stuff from? Like, if it's John Schneider going, hey, that one from us, whatever, you need to call the agent. First of all, Ian Rappaport doesn't have to do anything that John Schneider wants him to do, because he don't work for John Schneider or the Seahawks.
He'd be stupid not to do it.
But the reason he's going to do it is so these guys, Schneider and other people, can be his sources for other stories. That's how this all works, man. Everybody's in bed together. That's how this works. Y'all still mad at Shams Charania. This is how it works. This is how the game is played. So I found that one really, really interesting because they essentially outed Rappaport on that one. So
I would say that was probably the most interesting part.
No. Thomas Hammock, man. Come on. Bring me the popcorn. Give me Thomas Hammock. Thomas Hammock, for those of you that don't know, was a position coach for the Badgers, running backs coach, I think it was, years ago. Then got to have his moment in the spotlight at Northern Illinois, right? When they pulled who did they upset? I forgot who they upset.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, yeah. And they had that, and everybody's talking about Thomas Hammock, how great Thomas Hammock is. And eventually that spotlight falls apart. And now he's in the National Football League, which is great. This dude is gigantic personality driven. Like, for me, just have a camera follow this dude home every day. Like, you don't have to show me any of the players. Let's just follow Thomas Hammock around and let him talk all the time. Let's go to dinner with Thomas Hammock. Let's go get some ice cream with Thomas Hammock. Let's make sure we understand what Thomas Hammock is like in the morning when he first gets out of bed. Like, I want more Hammock is what I'm telling you. Go ahead.
The first thing we have to establish is an edge. All right, what is our edge? First of all, it's got to start with physicality. So we don't have pads on, and I'm good, but we should be running through people, and then they're like, okay, I'm going to tag off. That's what it looks like, all right? And that's what we have to start to establish. So I sent you guys the thing out. We were the last ranked group in the NFL. Who gives a But if we establish an identity and an edge, then it don't matter. Otherwise, they just had an MVP leave the organization. Nobody can't replace them? You replace them with your work. With your work. From a protection standpoint, go up and meet them. When you run on the ball, stick your foot in the ground. I don't see anybody making guys miss. Okay, that's fine. Find the soft shoulder and get vertical. That. We have to say, okay, this is who we are and this is what we're about moving forward. Don't tell me what you can do. Show me.
I'm sorry. Dude, I'm in. Let's go. Just put up the wall. Let's run through it. Let's go do it for this dude. First of all, he's I want to make sure I have this correct. He's the highest paid running backs coach in the NFL. Remember, he was in Baltimore for a time too, so he's not as new to the NFL. So that's number one. So he came to be with McDonald, the head coach of the Seahawks. So that's why he's there. Number two, the guy he's talking about who they lost, Kenneth Walker, going to the Kansas City Chiefs. That is going to really suck for the rest of the league. But him going to Kansas City Chiefs, and now they got to replace him. So now you've got to go find who's that guy going to be, because you're a Super Bowl team. You didn't get a top 5 pick. You didn't get to get love from Notre Dame. You got to go find that guy, who that guy's going to be, and he's got to try and figure out which one of these guys is going to play probably above the level that everybody expects in order for this running back room not to suck at the end of the day.
Well, and they drafted Zach Charbonnet to be that guy eventually there for this team once that Kenneth Walker left. And yeah, he hasn't really stepped up to the plate when he's been given opportunities. Yeah.
That ain't the guy.
Like, you're going to have to find other people to give opportunities to. And I think giving Hammock that type of contract tells you that you're expecting him to go out there, make some magic happen with the guys that you're giving him, that you're not expecting a whole lot of talent out of that room, but you're expecting production still no matter what. And I think that's huge that he starts the training camp with this type of mentality. I think it's really cool. Like, if anything out of this, that this feels like a different kind of position coach than we've seen on Hard Knocks in recent years. You've seen him be a personality, which I don't think you see all the time.
It's great.
And I think it's really cool. That was always my favorite thing with the Browns when the offensive line coach, I can't remember his name now, but he was a great personality, like a walrus. That was a lot of fun. And I think you need that, especially when Ben McDonald, I think, is so boring.
He's Don't forget, Emmanuel Wilson is in Seattle. So that former Packer back could be a guy. Jadarian Price is there. George Halani is there as well. That's what he's working with kind of going forward. All right, what else you got?
Speaking of McDonald, this is the clip that was the most viral out of this whole thing, and part of the reason I think he's boring. He was giving his team a speech about the 90s Bulls. Like, they don't know who the 90s Bulls are.
Hey, man, that was a while ago, man. I mean, 26. There's guys on this team that didn't see the 90s Bulls. That was before they were alive.
I think the youngest guys are like, okay, maybe a year younger than me. I know what the 90s or who the 90s Bulls are.
But they didn't see him play.
No, but
you didn't see him play.
Yeah, but I still understand their greatness.
Well, you may understand. I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's that crazy. Go ahead.
Okay, so this guy right here, he's a pretty good coach. He's got a sweet stash. Phil Jackson, he took over after, like, MJ had already been there for several years, like kicking ass. He was scoring like 35 a game was his like career average up to that point. Had the Bulls won anything in 91 yet? Nope. No, they couldn't get over. They couldn't kind of get over the Pistons. They couldn't get over the hump. Phil Jackson shows up. I'm trying to get these guys to be convinced. Maybe we shouldn't just give the ball to one guy. Maybe we're trying to actually create this like flow state of basketball where everyone is kind of involved all the time. So what happens? 91, they win the championship. They start to figure it out. Then they win again, 92, 93. They win. We all know what happens to MJ. They come back and they win another three-peat, 3 in a row. MJ was MJ, right? There's another level to where he was able to take his game because he bought into this idea of team basketball. So why do I tell you that story? Like, in the NFL, guys, I really believe this, that the secret sauce of the NFL is connection. What if everybody was on the same page, going in the same direction, playing off one each other, building each other up, not caring who gets the credit, and just going? And where could that take us? What if we could get the whole building involved in just creating this vision of who we want to become all the time? This is how we know when we go into games that we have the competitive advantage, because we have this in our corner. All right, and this is the time of year to make it come to life.
I didn't mind it. It didn't bother me. My only thing with that was I felt like it was too long. It took too long to deliver the message you were trying to get to with a room full of athletes that's attention span is probably not all that long to begin with.
Right.
I'm just telling you, I think some of those guys may have just like, ooh, forgot what McDonald was even talking about by the time he got done talking. That's my only knock on it. I get the point. I get what he's trying to do. I just think it took too long to get to it.
Some guys just like they may be great football minds. They're not the great vocal motivators. And I think that's part of the reason you bring in a guy like Thomas Hammock to be a part of your staff, because he clearly was a really great vocal motivator,
Right.
is a vocal motivator. He helps you out with that side of things. You can try to give speeches like this, but again, I think you're picking a subject that's too boring. You're not connecting it well enough. Like, I think you want to lead your team into finding out the kind of theme on your own, and you have to break down who the Bulls are and then end up going, and it's because of connection. Like, how did we get here? You didn't lead us here, and you spent way too much time leading us to here. So how did we not get led here?
I don't know, but Michael Jordan punched people in practice.
Yeah.
He connected with them all right. Yeah, he was definitely connecting. Charlie using over there, Steve Sparky Fiver here. We'll talk about Hard Knocks again next Wednesday at 3:20. Do it each and every week and see if we can get Charlie on the bandwagon to like the defending Super Bowl.
I don't know.
To like the defending Super Bowl champions. And it makes sense that it's the Seahawks because John Schneider does not care. You want cameras to come in here? Cool. Bring the cameras in here. Don't bother me, Annie. He just doesn't care. It's whatever. We're going to be great regardless if you're here or not. And a lot of everybody else, like Ted Thompson, those guys, I don't want cameras anywhere near my locker room. It's going to be a jinx and a distraction. And now we're going to win like 6 games because there were cameras that with us at training camp.
When you just won the Super Bowl. I don't think you worry as much about jinxes when you already have the trophy. Yeah, you'd like to win a second one, but if you're a team that's on the rise, that's hoping to get to that level and get to that point, I don't think you want that.
Schneider's won 2 Super Bowls with 2 different rosters and 2 different coaches.
Yeah, but this is the year after you won the Super Bowl. Like, that's different. Like, you just feel still high on that victory that you're not as worried about that type of stuff.
Fine, yes, I agree. But my point is that he's an even more special, air than everybody else to win 2 Super Bowls with the same organization with 2 different rosters and 2 different head coaches. That's not a thing.
Other most interesting thing I saw from this episode was John Schneider has like 5 tattoos on his arm. He was cool, man. I didn't think he was that cool looking. I always think of like GMs and like those guys as just like old boring guys and stuff, and he's kind of cool,
I'm just so old, man. Like, I don't look at dudes like, oh, he's kind of cool. Like, it just never crosses my mind. Wisconsin Sports Radio Network is proudly outfitted by Burghardt Sporting Goods, our official apparel partner. Outfit your team or company with custom apparel today at BSG1881.com. Again, BSG1881.com. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you. Here we are on a Wednesday. No, you're not losing your mind. It's not top of the hour, whatever the case may be. I typed in one thing, clicked on the computer to bring one thing over, and got something else. And I don't know quite what I did.
I was wondering what was happening over
That
there.
is why that open played. So, with that being said, we need to get to what we should be listening to.
What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Poor Ziggy threw you under the bus. Did Charlie play the wrong bump? No, that was
Sparky
me.
played the wrong bump.
I run the board on this show. Charlie's on the other side. Except like when we're at State Fair tomorrow. Come on out, hang out with us. Mitch Thunder Nellis will be there from noon to 1 doing the leadoff show, 1 to 2 doing Crosby's show. 2 to 4, I'll be there doing Wisconsin Sports Daily. Tim Allen and I at State Fair tomorrow, 4 to 6, right outside the Expo Center, right across from where you get the quarter or 50-cent milk, whatever it is nowadays. That's where we'll be all during the run of State Fair. All right, what do you got?
All right, so first up here, this is one of the ones I wanted to play yesterday, but we ran a little short on time. This is Chris Rose on Talking Baseball, and he was discussing the Milwaukee Brewers and their lackluster trade deadline.
I went back to 2017 when Christian Yelich was traded to the Brewers. Do you know that the Brewers gave up their first, their fourth, their seventh, and a 16th or 17th best prospect? Now, I know that Yelich was under control. He ended up getting the extension, so it's a different thing. People will say, we can't do it for just a 2-month rental. Really? How many World Series have the Brewers won? Oh, you could even throw the Rays in there. I'll combine them. How many World Series have those two franchises won? Anybody? That's correct, nerd boy. 0. So why don't we try something different? You know what's definitely on? Do you think that Dustin May's going to line up? And everybody's going to be like, hell yes, that guy's going to pitch game 2 because Kyle Harrison's arm has fallen off. So now we have to trot out Dustin May in game 2 of the NLCS against the Dodgers. And you know who he's going to face? Tarek Skubal. And that's going to be a problem for the Brewers.
You know what I don't understand?
What's that?
Why is everybody getting so worked up about what the Brewers do? I don't understand.
Because people want to see the Brewers win.
I love Chris Rose. Big fan. He's a Cleveland fan. You want to know when the last time they won a title was?
Long time ago. They were in 2016, but
1948. When they beat the Boston Braves. That was the last time that they won a title.
So that's why he's cheering for the Brewers, isn't it?
Why didn't Cleveland go get Skubal? Why didn't they try and go make a push at this?
Because the Brewers were supposed to be the team that was supposed to get Skubal outside of the Dodgers. That's what the reports were.
This isn't about the Brewers. This is about they don't want to lose a whole season next year. And everybody knows because this deal went down, we're all screwed next year. That's what this is. That's all this is about. They don't care if the Brewers win the World Series or not. They just didn't want to have a labor lockout for super long. And this pretty much guarantees, more than likely, unless injuries beset the Dodgers roster, that the Dodgers are going to win it again. And that means 3 World Series in a row. There is no more talking about parity and all this other nonsense. And, we're going to sit around and I have no idea what we're going to talk about next year during the baseball season, but we'll figure something out.
Well, and I think even outside of just the lockout, I think he looks at that and says this Brewers team represents the Cleveland team that I cheer for.
Small markets.
They represent all these teams. That they lost out on that. They weren't able to go and get Skubal and make that big trade, even though they had all the pieces to go and do it. That's disappointing. That's frustrating when just in the grand scheme of things, wanting the little guy to beat the little guy is not working out at all. And it's really frustrating to watch that happen time and time again.
And that's the thing that the Brewers have to now carry on their shoulders going forward, is that whole idea of pretty much everybody's rooting for you to slay Goliath and you're David. The problem is you're not David. You've had the best record in baseball last year. You have the best record in baseball right now sitting here in August. You're not David. You're not the Pirates squeaking in as a wild card,
but you were supposed to be Robin Hood. I think more so is what it was. You were supposed to steal from the rich, get the Tarek Skubal from the LA Dodgers, and be the representative of all the small market teams.
That's what everybody wanted, correct. But I'm just saying, the way this is going to be set up as, it's going to be David versus Goliath. The Brewers are going to be painted as David, which Pat Murphy is going to love. But that's how this is going to be painted. And it's just, I just don't think that's true. Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We'll hear from Tucker Kraft coming up next.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
4 o'clock hour. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Charlie Houston over there producing today's show. Don't forget, if you miss anything that happened on today's show, text Sparky to the Nicolay Law Talk and text line, 414-677-1250. Sparky to 414-677-1250 to get the link to today's show sent to you right from the Wisconsin Sports Daily page. Coming up this hour, it's going to have some Packer stuff, obviously, in the first half hour of the show, and then we'll have first half hour of this hour. Then Think Sparky Missed coming up at 4:40. Brewers-wise, leadoff show at 5 o'clock until 6:30. Then tonight, after the last pitch, you make the switch. Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show from 9:30 to 11 with the franchise. Tim Allen and myself. We'll see if the Brewers can get a win behind Kyle Harrison coming off the IL today against Paul Skeens. Skeens' velocity numbers have dropped off significantly. So that's been a story on Skeens this year. So we'll see if the Brewers can hit him. And then Grant Anderson, the reliever, sent down to Nashville to make room for Kyle Harrison on the active roster. So that is your latest on the Milwaukee Brewers.
It's time for your green and gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
Man, I've already got people nominating people for Plead the Fifth coming up on Friday after they heard the Chris Rose rant. Woo-wee. Got to make sure we save that one. We'll have to play that one back because we already got a nomination for Chris Rose. You're going to Plead the Fifth every Friday at 4:20. Brought to you by Habish, and Rotier. Your chance to tell somebody to just hush it. You're embarrassing yourself. You're saying too much. All right, Charlie. Green and Gold update time. Tucker Kraft was on Up and Adams. She was in Green Bay having her podcast and her show and interviewing a bunch of people, including Tucker Kraft, and a lot of good stuff out of that one.
Yeah, Tucker Kraft was discussing first his mindset going into the season this year after coming off of this injury and how it compares to when he was coming off the PUP with his pectoral injury.
What is the movie going to be about this year?
Grit. Yeah. All I've heard really from outside noise is people not really expecting me to be who I was prior to my injury. Number one regression candidate at tight end this year. Well, I have something to say about that. And really it all just come from my play when I'm back.
Does that affect, what does that do to your treatment, your mental space? I'm sure it affects it, and probably a great way for Packers fans who are watching.
I've always been a go out and get it, go out and prove it kind of guy. My mentality is really never, if anything, outside noise only helps me. It's just added to the fire, more motivation.
So this is something that certain guys really, really use as their fire to get them through different seasons. And it's legendary stuff of Michael Jordan, like taking anything he could find and wrapping his arms around it and gearing all of his anger and all of that towards whatever it was. It could be a quote, could be anything. And then that was the motivation for the year. It was all about proving whoever that was wrong. And in this era, I should say, of social media and sports talk radio, talking heads on all the sports networks, it is super, super duper easy to find somebody doubting you if you are a notable player. Plus the internet, with everybody having their own blogs and everything else on the internet, super duper easy to find somebody. Now, again, if you're a third string guy, okay, nobody's talking about you. But if you're a notable player like Tucker Kraft, I'm sure probably pretty easy for him to find somebody saying, well, he's not going to be the same. He's coming off of the injury. With all due respect, that feels like a probably pretty factual statement, maybe at the end of the day. We've never said it here. We've never talked about it. I guess I'm just a dumb fan that thinks he's going to come back and be a beast going forward and have a monster season. But I could see where somebody would say that about Tucker Kraft, just like the Bears. Like Ben Johnson was out the other day saying, hey, man, we're like the number one target for regression in the National Football League. Everybody thinks we're going to go backwards this year.
And some of the Packers beat writers thought maybe Tucker Kraft was poking fun at Ben Johnson with that quote, too. You don't think so at all? It's like almost word for word the same exact thing.
Yeah, maybe. I doubt it, though. Maybe, but I don't know.
Because I haven't seen anything about Tucker Kraft
but again,
being a regression candidate.
All it's got to be is one person. One person in one paragraph somebody sends. I mean, he's like, oh, really? Screw you, right? But again, coming off of an ACL the year after, what is the common knowledge? You're not the same player until 2 years off the ACL injury. Like that's not some outrageous take. Like, oh my God, he's not going to be the same guy until the second year. No, that's what it is. And I think you could have the same conversation about Micah Parsons of he may not be that same dude this year. It may be 2027 before you see him get that back. Now, Micah Parsons is going to tell you, hey, man, I'm working to be better than I was last year before my injury. You just wait and see. And Tucker Kraft has that same, work ethic, drive, passion that goes along proving people wrong. So I totally could see somebody saying that. Maybe he was poking fun of the Bears. But my point is, Ben Johnson found that little nugget, right, and said, this is what we're going to use during training camp in the season to keep us motivated and shut everybody up. That's what I needed. Thank you very much. Because your quarterback's on the cover of Madden. He's been getting praised all offseason, right? Like, it's been all about, oh, the Bears are going to be so great with Caleb Williams. He had to find something to get this team going, and he found it. Tucker Kraft, I'm not saying he had to find something to get himself going, but that helps.
Speaking of Tucker Kraft's mentality, he also talked about his mentality on the field and returning to contact, why he loves contact so much, and potentially playing in the preseason.
My first exposure to it, coming off the pup after I tore my pec, I was in a joint practice with Seattle, and we have this play. It's called fly kick. Front side is blocking it just like dual, vertical double teams. My job is to get in the backfield and find an angle and just try to pry open that D gap right outside the opposite.
The hammer, not the nail.
I came off my feet and I won. I won that block.
So awesome.
My biggest thing in the tight end room is near foot, near shoulder. Don't slow down. The moment you slow down, guys in this league are too good. They'll make you look chicken on film, and that's the last thing we want. You don't get any respect in that regard. So everything for me, I was quoted on this earlier in camp, but I don't come with breaks. I'm going to try to go through my opponent to the expense of myself.
Okay, well, then I don't want to see you in the preseason, Tucker. And I was like, team, let's see him out. I don't want to see you out there because I don't know that you're going to help yourself. Like, how do you I don't know about this. I don't think we should see you. What is I like that you're saying Matt LaFleur, you can kind of talk to him, bring something to him. In your ideal world, not that it's up to him. In your ideal world, what do you need as the player that you are? What do you need in the preseason?
I've had a lot of talks with the fellas and stuff like that. I don't necessarily. There's some positions that don't get much out of a preseason game. The way I practice and my mentality when I hit the practice field is I'm simulating game-like reps as much as I can every snap. I'm trying to go 1-0. I'm trying to be as consistent as I can for the offense. So for the exception of my rookie year, if I go out there because the philosophy is you go out there and it's, game simulation, you're going to get tackled if you catch the ball. I haven't had a target since my rookie year. So I go out there and I participate in a preseason game. It's just practice for me. So from that standpoint, second floor doesn't want to see me.
Okay. So that's from Up and Adams, Kay Adams in Green Bay. Tucker Kraft talking to her. A really good interview. She's just really good in general. Can we just all agree she's just really good at what she does? So him talking about every position is different as far as how they treat, needing to be in an exhibition game and so forth. Like they've already said Rodgers is going to be playing 2 exhibition games because that's what Mike McCarthy wants, right? He's going to play against the Packers in their exhibition game with the Steelers and Packers. That's one of them. I come to you, Mr. Charlie, former college football player. In your mind, what positions in the NFL would you say benefit most from playing in an exhibition game and not an NFL game? Because I'm pretty sure regardless of position, none of those guys want to play in these games.
No, I don't think so. I think kicker probably first and foremost probably gets the most out of a preseason game just because you're simulating that environment typically, and I think that's huge to get the sound, get the feel before you head into a season. And that should say a lot about how much it matters to the rest of the guys, if it matters the most, probably to a kicker in this situation. I would say cornerback, wide receiver, again, that's a position that you're not exactly getting the most aggressive with. So I think going out there just getting live game reps is huge for those guys. I think you could say the same thing about maybe offensive linemen and defensive linemen. I don't think a quarterback really needs to be out there all that much. Again, a lot of his stuff is mental. You don't need to see what's happening on the field for the most part. If you're an NFL quarterback, you should be able to get into that situation and be all right in that spot. I would say running back, it doesn't matter all that much too. Again, you want to be able to see the holes open up, but you can do that at practice. That's not nearly as much. The guys that are more contact need to do more reactive type situations. I think that's what you need, and those are the guys that need to be on the field in a preseason because you have to learn and get ready to react to those in the regular season too.
And remember, the previous couple of years, the Packers have had 2 inter-squad scrimmages. And the inter-squad scrimmages, it's both coaching staffs getting together and saying, okay, this is the work we want to get done today. And a lot of times it's 2 days of work during the course of the week. Maybe it's on a Wednesday and a Thursday, then the game is on Saturday or whatever. And that's really when your ones are really going head to head. It's physical, all of that stuff. There's a referee. But again, it's a controlled environment of what you're doing. This year, Matt LaFleur decided apparently that they're going to do only one. That is against his brother, Mike LaFleur, who is the coach of the Cardinals. So you are not going to have those 2 extra scrimmages. So without having that second scrimmage, I wonder how much of that will play into who plays in preseason games this year. Because before 2 of 3 weeks, you're having that opposing player lining up against your guys and you're learning information. Even if it's not in front of a stadium full of people, you're still getting that information. Now you're doing only 1 of 3 weeks. You just wonder if that's going to change LaFleur's mind as far as how much these guys are going to play in the preseason. I definitely don't think LaFleur is anti-preseason necessarily all the way. But I do understand Tucker Kraft's point as far as the second floor front office doesn't want him out there coming off of an ACL and then potentially getting hurt again in a meaningless preseason
Especially
game.
if they're going to pay him. Right, like if they're going to pay him right now before you get to the preseason games, and then all of a sudden he goes out in that first one and re-tears something or hurts himself again, they're going to be kicking themselves that they gave you that big old contract. So yeah, they're going to hate seeing that coming.
Green and Gold updates brought to you by the Potawatomi Sportsbook here on Wisconsin Sports Daily. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, Charlie Houston producing today's show. Steve in Kiel, you're next on the Nicolay Law Talking Text Line. What's up, Steve?
How are we doing?
Doing good, man. How are you?
All right, I'm with you. So here's the deal. We're 4th and 1. We're in the red zone. We got 2 minutes left on the clock. Are we going for the field goal or are we going for the first down?
How much are you down by?
We're down by 4.
Oh, yeah, you're going for it. You can't kick a field goal down by 4 at that point. You got to go for it. Right. I mean, if you're down 3 and it's 4th and 1, then that changes it. Then it's just how much do you believe in your kicker versus how much you believe in your quarterback. That's why this rookie kicker thing irritates me so much. Because if Smack isn't that good and is having his issues, and Matt LaFleur has already hinted at, hey, he's going to have growing pains. We've had this before with a rookie kicker, which is why I don't understand why he would ever agree to do this again. So now it's going to be a situation where we're like, I don't really trust Trey Smack. Okay, Jordan Love, let's go get it done. That is going to be a big part of it. And Love, as we talked about earlier, hasn't had enough of those big moments winning games as the clock expired and you throw a big pass to win the game at the end. So will he finally trust him and give him more of those opportunities? That's the question.
We shall see.
We shall see. And that's really what it comes down to. Steve, thanks for the call. If you're down 3 and you have Adam Vinatieri and you're home, you kick. Right? If you're on the road, you kick. I know some of you are like, well, home is one thing, road is another. In my world, for me personally, I don't give a damn where it is. If you're down 3 and you have a chance to tie the game with a minute left or whatever, I'm kicking the 3 and hoping and praying to God my defense can hold them at the end of the day. Because if you go for it on 4th and 1, I'm going to run quarterback sneak, and you get stuffed, you lost. And you could have played for overtime. or the possibility of, okay, maybe they do score me in the last minute, but at least I'm going to tie it and give myself a chance to get to overtime, Charlie.
Yeah, and I think when most stadiums nowadays, half of the stadiums at least across the NFL have roofs or are in domes, I think you'll be okay because a lot of them are in the same kind of environment. This is from Adam Schefter just a few minutes ago. Aaron Donald officially has worked out for the Los Angeles Rams. That's according to the LA Times.
Been there? Doesn't he have a locker already?
I think this is
what do you mean
officially
officially worked
an
out?
official like workout to be like a tryout for the team, basically.
Craziness. We know he's coming back. Now, that defense, that's going to be one of those defenses you talked about earlier, where you're just going to go in knowing your quarterback's going to get wrecked.
Yeah.
Because him and Myles Garrett are right.
And then on the other side of things, you got the reigning MVP with one of the best wide receivers in football.
Again, you have these guys the night before Thanksgiving. That means
that's going to be a fun game.
Belton, Ryan, and Banks.
Good luck, boys. Well, that is if Banks is on the field, because we don't know if he can. If Belton's still playing right guard, because we don't know where he's going to be playing.
All fair. All fair points. That's your green and gold update. Don't worry, though. We got more from that Up and Adams. So Jordan Love also partaked in some of those activities. We'll hear some of Jordan Love coming up next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. This year at Wendy's, they're calling fall early with the new Apple Crumble Frosty Fusion. Because why wait for the calendar when you can start your favorite season today, right now? Creamy vanilla frosty, blended with special apple syrup and crunchy oat crumble. It's everything fall lovers crave in one cold, creamy spoonful. Available for a limited time at Wendy's. Welcome in. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily. See Sparky Pfeiffer, Charlie Usen over there, other side of the glass. Broadcasting live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I looked over here at the Nicolay Law Talking text line in that last segment from the 608. So, Sparky, on the pregame show, that's the leadoff show coming up at 5, please don't act and sound like a Homer High School newspaper reporter when you cover Christian Yelich. He produces big in the next 4 weeks or it's over, especially given the fact that his past performances in the playoffs have been below average. Respecting heritage means not letting an over-the-hill star to continue to embarrass himself and the club. To the 608. Go listen to the first hour of the show, man. We talked about it for 40 minutes, man. And if you think I covered it like a high school newspaper reporter, let me know. But I'm pretty sure you will not say that.
I think we were pretty critical of Christian Yelich still, too, and had similar viewpoints, actually.
Yeah, no, just go back and listen, man. I promise you. And I don't plan on jumping into Christian Yelich conversation for 90 minutes leading up to the game. I mean, it's Skeens tonight for the Pirates. It's Kyle Harrison for the Brewers. Grant Anderson option back to Nashville. We'll get to the lineups. We'll hear from Pat Murphy. It's going to be a fun show coming up starting at 5 o'clock. Before we get into Jordan Love and what he had to say today, Kay came and dropped off these things. So these wallflower, like, infuser things.
Yeah.
So we've got a dual one that we plug into the wall. Dude, I guarantee you there's somebody who's like, what are we doing? So the dual one, right? And then it, like, rotates scents that it gives off if you plug it in.
Right.
And the only person that has issue with this is Rami, because Rami always ends up getting a migraine or a headache or whatever, right?
So you're saying he's a baby? Yeah.
No, not at all. No, it's real deal. He's got real migraine issues. So okay, fine. I understand that. So forget the Rami aspect of this, right? I need to make a decision on which 2 scents we're going to put in here.
All right.
I've got Ghoul Friend. I have
Halloween theme?
Yep.
Okay.
I have Fancy Apple, which is described as warm and woodsy. Football Season. That's warm and woodsy. Lounge Talk. That's warm and woodsy. And Mahogany Teakwood, which I believe we've had before.
Ooh, yeah,
and that is warm and woodsy. So we get 2 of them. So which 2 do we put into to see what it smells like?
I feel like we should say football season for football season.
So wait on that.
Yeah, that
that
one's
aside.
Same with the apples. I feel
Fancy
like it's not
apple, more of a
season.
fall thing when you go apple
Let's
picking.
go-
Right. yeah.
Lounge Talk. Let's go with Lounge Talk.
And then Ghoul Friend should probably be closer to Halloween,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So Lounge Talk and Mahogany Teakwood, I think, is a
All
good,
right. All right.
good August mix.
Next segment, we'll put that in. The last time we put these in, it took me 20 minutes to figure out how to do it correctly. So,
You think you got it down pat now?
no chance. Absolutely no chance that I have that down. Jordan Love was on Up and Adams earlier today as well. Last night, she was on X asking people for questions that they would want for Jordan Love. Now, I would love to know from Kay Adams, how many did you actually use? 1, 2, 0? Because that's the thing, right? Having done this a long time, that is the most common thing. I've done it a bunch in my career. Hey, we're going to have Matt Arnold tomorrow on from the Toy Drive. What do you want me to ask him, right? And then you try and figure out a couple of them that you can ask them. So you do ask a couple of them. But there's no way you're asking all of them, especially now with her social media account with everybody's that I want her to ask questions.
And also, people like to say and be nice that there's no bad questions, you know, like you can answer, there's bad questions. And sometimes people have bad questions. too.
Sometimes
So,
it is,
you know
yes.
what? You know, you gotta make sure it's good. You know,
And the
double
other
check
thing
that.
is, people want you to go at a mean spirited and over
That's
the top
always
and all
what
that.
it is too. There was
And
like,
there's
why,
no
ask Jordan why he sucks.
Yes.
Like, what are you going to accomplish with that?
There's no chance those things are ever being asked. There's absolutely zero chance. So you have to phrase the question. If you want a certain answer, then you have to smartly come up with a question to get you to lead the witness, as they would say, to give you the answer that's what you want. That's how you do it, right? All right, Charlie, what do we got from Jordan Love?
All right. So first up here, I mentioned this earlier. This is Jordan Love discussing throwing more no-look passes. With Kay Adams.
Stop. I don't want to hear this.
Why not?
I don't want to hear this. So, back in the day, this was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now they all do it. I don't care anymore. Cool. You can throw a no look like every other freaking NFL quarterback. I don't care. Because legitimately now, like before it was, oh, Stafford does it in Detroit, and oh man, it was a cool thing. Oh, Mahomes. Now they all do it. All of them. Caleb Williams does it. Jared Goff. They all do it. But it's no longer fancy. It's no longer, ooh, how cool are you? No, man.
Why not?
I
Like,
don't
why
care.
can't it still be cool? I
Find
don't-
something else. I don't care about his stupid no-look passes. No, I don't
Why
care.
can't it be cool? Like,
No,
you
it's
still
not
think,
cool.
like, when somebody dunks, it's still pretty cool
No,
for the most
no,
part?
it's not. Nope, you're absolutely wrong. No, it's not. No. That's why the dunk contest has absolutely stunk.
Well, those guys do lame dunks.
Now they've got this new show. Have you seen the new show?
Yeah,
Dunk Man?
with the couch salesman. That's who I
Yes.
keep seeing all the time.
The
Yeah.
couch salesman, yeah. Now that dude can dunk. That dude will get you up off your seat. But for the most part, that's what's been wrong with the NBA All-Star game. Everybody's like, we've seen everything.
Yeah, but you're seeing it again from Mac McClung, who barely gets NBA playing time each season. I think that's the bigger problem, more so than the dunk is.
That the
boring.
best dunk guys don't play in the NBA? That's the issue?
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that some of these stars can dunk, that do dunk crazy in games all the time, and they choose not to in the dunk contest.
I will say this again, probably for the 500th time. There should be, when it comes to dunking, you should have to be under 6 foot or 6'1", 6'2", something like that. Pick a smaller size. You should have to be under that size. With all due respect to Dwight Howard and his Superman cape and all that, that's cool. But most guys at that size, the dunk's never going to look as impressive versus if it's a shorter dude getting way more air and doing a similar dunk. It's always going to look more impressive. You're never going to hear somebody go, oh boy, that Spud Webb dunk wasn't much. No. No, absolutely not, right? I mean, if Michael Jordan was 6'10", 6'11", all that stuff would not have looked the same. Just wouldn't have.
Should we start getting you to train for the dunk contest show?
Nope.
I think we could get you on that.
No, they could have casted me in White Men Can't Jump, and I would have been just fine in that movie. All right, well,
All right. Let's actually hear from Jordan Love. Now, this is on Matthew Golden. Are you okay hearing his opinion on Matthew
Sure.
Golden? All right. This is Jordan Love on Matthew Golden.
I mean, I think he's a guy who obviously he's very hungry. Since he got here last year, you could tell just that hunger. He wants the ball. He wants to be out there making plays for us. And obviously last year, it's his rookie year. We had a lot of guys in the room. He might not have got as many touches as he wanted, but he was able to stay patient. And that's the key for all this. You got to stay patient, continue to learn and grow and build, because obviously this year I think he's came into it with the right mindset. He's attacked every day this offseason, and now it's going to be his time to go out there and just make these plays on the field. But I think for anybody that's a young guy, it's just patience and understanding that when your time does come, your moment comes, you got to make those plays count.
there is pressure on Matthew Golden for sure. It feels like, at least early, based on the people that are there reporting on camp, that Matthew Golden has maybe kind of fit into that Romeo Doubs role of kind of being that security blanket a little bit and being that guy that's kind of where he needs to be in those situations. And I think for this year specifically, if Matthew Golden can be that Romeo Doubs type player and have Jordan Love's trust like that, that would be a huge, huge upgrade over, what they had with Matthew Golden last year. Because what made Romeo Doubs was so good was he knew how to read a defense. He knew how to sit, in zone coverage and find that open spot.
He was great for Jordan.
He knew how to get to where he had to be to put himself in a position to make himself available for Jordan Love to get him the ball when other things weren't there or whatever. Being on that same page. What made Jordy Nelson great was him and Aaron Rodgers would see the same thing and know exactly what they were going to do against a certain player, against a certain look, and so forth. Now, why was that? Well, they were roommates, they rode the game back and forth together, so they literally knew what each other were thinking on a football field pretty much all the time. That's where you want to see Matthew Golden and Christian Watson and Jaden Reed, whatever, get to that spot where you got like 2 or 3 guys that are thinking like Jordan Love, seeing how Jordan Love looks at things, and get there mentally with Jordan Love. I don't think there's any question Matthew Golden physically can be a damn good receiver in this league. The question for me is, from a mental standpoint, can he be on that same page with Jordan Love?
And can he be willing to, like Jordan Love keeps saying and Matt LaFleur keeps saying, fit into that role and
Right.
take that mindset and humble yourself a little bit to
Yep.
sit in that role and be able to take that shot. Because with the Packers, I don't think this is the case with every team, but with the Packers, that's how you go improve yourself to get that bigger role in the future.
Absolutely correct.
Next up, let's talk about somebody else in that receiving room. This is Jordan Love on getting Tucker Kraft back.
I mean, Tuck's one of those guys who he brings that energy. He brings kind of just that dog mindset. Everybody knows when he's out there on the field what he's going to bring to the table. And you can, even with him going through rehab this offseason and him just being out there on the sideline with us, you can still feel that. He still brings that mindset to guys. He's getting guys ready to go. And we know what Tucker's going to do when he gets back out there on the field. You know, the things he does speaks for himself. But just his mindset, he's a guy that since he got here, you know, he's grown into his role. And I think he feels most comfortable right now. So I'm expecting big things from him when he gets back.
I love the Tucker Kraft thing from the aspect of he's another guy to a certain degree that Jordan Love can rely on, right? And I'll use old school. That's what Mark was to Brett, right? Shimura was that guy to Brett. He was always that guy that you can count on, going down the middle of the field, making a big play, being that first down guy. And Bubba Franks, to a degree in the red zone, was always a guy that you could count on to go get that touchdown in the red zone. Between the 20s, maybe not as much as what you wanted out of Bubba Franks, but he figured it out once he got in the red zone. The thing with Tucker Kraft is, and we've talked about this before with him and Christian Watson, who is going to be the one? Who's going to be the other guy? Are they both going to get 8 to 10 targets a game? Is one going to get more than the other? That's what we still don't know. We know Golden and Reed are not getting the same targets as Kraft and Watson. And if they do, then everybody's going to be screaming about this offense again. It's going to be this exact same thing as we've seen the last 2 years with everybody going, and they don't have a one.
Well, and it might be worse than that because Christian Watson got paid and Tucker Kraft is in the future going to get paid. So if both those guys aren't getting the targets that they're supposed to get.
But if LaFleur doesn't want to change the offense and says, hey, we got them both paid, doing it the way we were doing it, I'm not changing just because they got paid.
You're not going to get the screaming from the outside. You're going to get screaming from the inside if it doesn't result in a Super Bowl for this team, or at least a Super Bowl run for this team. So if Christian Watson and his dad, who we know happens to be very vocal every time his son doesn't get put into the offense the way he wants it to, if all of a sudden he gets paid and now isn't getting played the way he should, they're going to be saying things. Tucker Kraft, I know, seems like a guy who's very team first, but he also seems like a guy throughout the past couple of off seasons that's willing to speak his mind about what he feels. And if he's not getting the targets he wants, or if the team's not performing and he's not getting the targets and the team's not performing at the same time, he's going to speak out about it. And I don't think you want that distraction. You can deal with the fans complaining about it, but if you're going to do this, you damn well better be sure that you're going to make it to a Super Bowl, or at least have the top chances to be a Super Bowl contender.
Absolutely correct. I agree with you 1,000%. And that's the one thing we haven't really seen, right? So Keyshawn Johnson, throw me the damn ball, and being vocal in the media and so forth. We really haven't seen Watson being vocal about wanting more targets. Haven't really seen Tucker Kraft being vocal about more targets. They've all everything stayed inside those walls at Lambeau Field. There hasn't been any really outside distractions. And I don't think there will be unless you're losing. Right? If you're 4-8 and we're running the same thing and nothing's changed, then you might start to hear that. But the Packers have never really been in that situation with Matt LaFleur for it to get to that point, Charlie.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you stay that level. And I think they can. I think they will. This team is way too talented to have that type of fall off just because you started thinning out the roster a little bit. I think this should be a huge opportunity for these guys to go out there and prove why this team continues to have so much success and why they continue to be at the top of people who know football's lists of best teams in the league.
Something you said earlier, I had asked you about what Tucker Kraft said about, playing in preseason, what position it makes the most sense. Ted in Portland uses the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. He texted and says, Charlie is totally wrong on who needs preseason. The player who would benefit the most from playing in the preseason is the one player who has to learn who no team wants to play, and that's the quarterback. We see teams out of sync all the time now the first few weeks of the regular season because of it. That's Ted in Portland.
I think in general you're just seeing teams out of sync because they're starting young quarterbacks overall. I don't think it matters if they get the extra 2 to 3 weeks in the preseason to go out there and play 2 series in those games. If that's going to counteract the growing pains that come with changing from college to the NFL landscape. Like, it's just different. And I think you're seeing a big transition between a lot of these teams and their starting quarterbacks, and you have to take time with that, and it's going to take time. Defenses are just a lot better and a lot more advanced, that you're starting to see a lot of these teams, like the Seahawks we were just talking about in the Hard Knocks, win a Super Bowl off of advanced defensive schemes. Teams are going to start figuring that out. Like, I don't think this is all related out to the quarterbacks not playing in the preseason. I think teams are just changing, and the NFL landscape and the way it's played is changing.
Another one here from the 920 who points out that Jaden Reed led the Packers in receiving receptions in 23 and in 24. Now, again, we've had injuries and so forth that have led to that being a potential thing. If Jaden Reed leads the team in receptions this year, something went wrong. Like, it did not go to the way that everybody was hoping
He's the
it went to.
second highest paid receiver right now.
Whether I don't care, whether it's injuries that occur or whatever the case may be. I mean, if you were to put together a target list, ideally as a Packer fan, like, okay, name me the 4 receivers. We'll include Tucker Kraft. So Watson, Golden, Reed, Tucker Kraft, those 4. Put in order 1 through 4 how you want the targets distributed as far as who gets the most and who gets the least. Isn't Jaden Reed 4?
I don't know. I think him and Matthew Golden are pretty interchangeable in my mind.
So you would say 3 or 4?
Yeah, I would say 3 or 4.
But
He's not
in
1
no
or 2.
world, he's 1 or 2.
No, it's Kraft, Watson,
right.
then those
That's
2.
what I'm saying. So if he leads the team in receptions this year, something went wrong.
Yeah.
Something went very, very wrong, and it's probably an injury. Charlie Usen over there, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer here. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Speaking of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, man, 2,000 square foot center screen. Beautiful thing. They have shuttles to and from home games to make a $5 same-day wager inside the Potawatomi Sportsbook for, like, say, today. It could be on the Brewers game. It could be on whatever you want. And then ask for your bracelet after you make the wager. Tell them you want to ride the shuttle to and from American Family Field, and you are ready to roll. It's just literally that simple. They got that beautiful covered parking garage that you can park into. Great place to go pregame if you'd like beforehand, right? They got 40 different beers on tap, dozen different specialty cocktails, full menu, all-day brunch featuring like steak and eggs and pancakes and that type of stuff. Full menu, homemade pastries, and desserts made every day at the Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. 2 levels of seating. There's not a better place to watch sports. There's just not. There's not a better place in Illinois. There's not a better place in Iowa. There's not a better place in Wisconsin. I'm willing to bet you there's not a better place in Michigan either. I'm just saying, this is the place. Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee, Potawatomi Sportsbook. Check them out today at potawatomi.com. Welcome back, Wisconsin Sports Daily. Sparky here, Charlie Usen over there. Leadoff show comes up at 5 o'clock. It's a few minutes away. We'll hear from Pat Murphy. Get you the lineups, go over the injury report, eye up the enemy. It's going to be a fun show. Getting you ready for Brewers and Pirates. Kyle Harrison makes his return from the IL today. Brewers sent out Grant Anderson to Nashville, the reliever. Paul Skeens with a start tonight for the Pirates. So could be a low-scoring game, could be a fast-moving game, Charlie, as well when it comes to Brewers-Pirates tonight at American Family Field.
I didn't think about this earlier. Tim's going to be a little sad about Grant Anderson getting sent down. That was one of his favorite nicknames, was Ulysses S. Grant Anderson. So now he's got to find somebody else to give a nickname to. He's going to be upset.
You'll be fine. I'm very, very supportive of that stuff on that show. You know how I can be very supportive.
Oh, of course.
Very, very supportive on that stuff. Nicolay Law Talk and text line says, from the 414, my target breakdown for the Packer wide receivers goes like this. Number one, the open wide receiver. I don't care what people are paying. Matt LaFleur, offense schemes players open. Just hit the open wide receiver from the 414. Here's the thing, and I think Charlie's going to have my back. You never really know, though. When you put together and design a play, there's always somebody that has to be the number one option.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the number two option and the number three option, okay? That's how this works. So if Matt LaFleur says, okay, everybody, I'm going to call 10 plays for Christian, 10 plays for Golden, 10 plays for Tucker Kraft, and 15 plays for Josh Jacobs. And that's going to be our breakdown. And I literally did not count how many plays I just said, but whatever. Something along those lines where it's evenly distributed. That does not mean that of the 10 plays he calls for Christian Watson, that on that look or that second look, Watson's going to be open. It may call for Watson, but the ball goes to Jaden Reed. It may call for Watson, but it goes to Musgrave, right? You don't know. But he can dictate where he wants the ball to go with his play call that is designated one person to get the ball, and if not that person, hopefully that person. If we get past 1 and 2, well, just take whoever's open and let's move. Right? Is that right, Charlie?
Yeah, and I think in certain situations you have a number one guy that's beyond just the play call too, that if you're in a situation where the play's breaking down, you say screw it and I throw it up to that guy. And Tucker Kraft on Up and Adams had said that. He said, me and Jordan kind of have that relationship where I'm the screw it guy for Jordan Love, that he's just going to throw it to me whenever he gets in trouble, which would make him de facto the number one option too in that situation. So even if you are saying, yeah, you want him just to go and throw it to the wide open guy every single time, he's going to look to a certain guy every single time to start and to end those types of plays. And that guy is going to be the number one guy at the end of the day.
I just hope we get there. There's a lot of hope and prayers from Packer fans. There's hope that they get a number one wide receiver, that they determine who that is. There is hope that they let Jordan Love throw the football more this year as well. And so far, that's all we have is hope. Until we actually get into regular season games, get through the first 4 weeks, see what this offense looks like, and then go, okay, do we like it? Do we not like it? What do we think of this type deal? And we'll have the Green Bay Football postgame show back on the air on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network again this year. I'm hosting again. I do have a co-host lined up. We have not announced who the co-host is. We'll do that here in the next, couple of weeks. We probably should announce it. I'll tell you this much. It's not Tommy Words.
It is not Tommy Words. No.
I'm not hiding.
He's busy.
I'm not hiding behind that. It is definitely not Tommy. It's not Tommy.
Somebody was definitely going to text it and say, surprise.
Yeah, right. No, it's not Tommy. I've upgraded significantly from Tommy for the postgame show. I don't care. And he is not going to argue about it either. So this is not even up for debate. I've got a better co-host than I did before.
Is this person going to be more positive? Do you think interesting?
I don't know.
You guys were pretty doom and gloom sometimes.
No, we were not. We were not doom and gloom. What are you talking about? Speaking of doom and gloom, I got a text here from Ziggy on the Nicolay Lataga text line. I have not looked at the lineup. I'm hosting the leadoff show in like 10 minutes. I have not looked. Ziggy says, can't wait for the pregame show. It's going to be 90 minutes of all of us complaining about Yelich in the lineup. Okay. All right. I can't wait to see what it is. So, no. See, now you're annoyed. You should not have looked. Let's just wait.
I like some things. I do like. There's
the rest of you, the rest of you will all find out together when we do the lineups at the top of there. We're like 10 minutes away, 12, 11 minutes away, and we'll go over the lineups. Last night on that Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show, Tim Allen is like, oh, man, what do you think of Christian Yelich in 7? Blah, 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 blah. I said, whoa, hold on. He didn't hit in the 7. He hit in the 5. Yeah, but he's going to hit in the 7. If he had him there, he's definitely going to hit in the 7. Like, that's going to be his new spot.
Hit in the 7
I said, until he hits in the 7, I don't think you. And he's laughing at him. He's like, no, come on. No, he's going to hit in the 7. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you have the Pat Murphy little thing about how fans need to be nice to Christian. There's no chance. Sam Block on X posted this last night. The Brewers in 2022 at this point, or at 2022, were 70-62, all right, after 132 games. In 2023, they were 70-57, so they got better.
All right, cool.
In 2024, they were 70-52. Getting better. In 2025, they were 70-44.
All right, nice.
And in 2026, 70-43. Sam Block says, this is an elite organization. All they do is get better. Plain and simple.
And if that trend goes for the playoffs too, which each year they've gotten better in the playoffs too, that would mean past the NLCS this year, right?
We'll see. Habish, and Rotier. Plead the Fifth comes up on Friday. National reputation, hometown service, helping injure Wisconsinites for nearly 100 years since 1930. 13 different locations around the state. Wausau, Green Bay, Appleton, Madison, southeastern Wisconsin. Everywhere you want them to be, they're there. You want somebody that you can approach, somebody that feels like a family or a friend that's going to go and do as much as they can to make sure all that stress and everything comes off of your shoulders and they get you what you rightfully deserve. Check them out today at Habish.com. Habish, and Rotier, national reputation, hometown service. Coming up next, it is the leadoff show here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network with me, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.